Okay, those of you that just came in, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. So what we're doing right now is we're going over the definitions of the dictionary you guys were working on. And I want to show you the definitions that we want to be working with. And if your definition is close, that's great. If your definition is way off, make sure you copy this one, because this is the definition we'll be using in this unit, in this course. These are the geometric, the nerdy definitions, as I just said. Now, we first just went over circle, which is the set of points equidistant. That just means the same distance from a given point, which we call the center. And the example I gave is if someone was standing right here and I wanted people to stand around that person, but I wanted them to be 5 feet away, every single person needs to be 5 feet away. That means each person would be 5 feet away all around that person, around, get it? And that would form a circle. And if we had an infinite amount of people, right, they'd be so close together you couldn't tell that they were individual points. It just looks like a solid line, which this solid line that goes around this center point, that is the actual circle. And it's just made up of an infinite amount of points. And right here, we name it based on the name of the point, the name of the center, circle P, or we do this little symbol with a dot in the middle, circle P. Okay? Next, we have radius. Radius. And radius is just a segment. So a radius is a line segment or a segment with endpoints at the center and the circle. So the endpoints of this line segment are at the center and somewhere on the actual circle. And that's your radius. Okay, we can have an infinite amount of radius or radii as we can. Okay, so that's how we say. So radius, that's our radius. That's another radius. And they're all the same. All radii are the same. So the plural of radius is radii. That means more than one. More than one radius is radii. Okay, and it just goes from the center of the circle to the edge of the circle. Okay? Everyone good at that one? Okay. Now, I'm not teaching you these right now for you to be experts. We're just going over briefly what each of these terms mean. And this is what we're going to be using as we go through the next couple of weeks on circles. So the next one is chord. I know some of you musicians, you know a chord is, you play 3 notes at the same time, like on a guitar or something. That's a chord. Not in this case. Not in this case. In this case, a chord is a segment, so it's another line segment with endpoints on the circle. Okay? So the 2 endpoints are actually on the circle, and I connect them. That line segment is called a chord. Right? We can have another chord right here. Any points on the circle, if I connect them, that's a chord. Okay? That's all the points. So a chord is just a line segment with endpoints on the circle. Okay. Next, and I'll keep them on the screen, so if you're falling behind, it's okay. It's okay. And if you need me to go back to any of these, just let me know. Next is a diameter. A diameter is kind of combining the last two. A diameter is a chord that passes through the middle. Right? Do you notice this? So we have a chord from here to here, but it passes through the center of the circle. And actually, so this whole thing is called the diameter. Hold on, let me write that better. I'm sorry. But if you notice, it's just 2 radiuses, isn't it? Or radii, sorry. 2 radii. Right? So it goes all the way across. So radius kind of just goes halfway from the center to the edge. The diameter just goes all the way, but it goes through the center. So it's a diameter is a chord, but a chord that runs through the center. But basically, it's if you know the radius, then you just double it to get the diameter. Okay? All right, are there any questions so far? Any questions so far on circle, radius, chord, diameter? Okay, I'll keep it here for a second for you to copy or for you to ask me any questions if you're confused. But this is pretty basic stuff. Maybe you guys didn't know that what a chord was. Maybe that was the first new one for some of you. Maybe radius and diameter were new to you. It's okay. I am recording this, and I will put this. Oh my God, I can't think. I will put this document up on Schoology too. Okay, but yes, I am recording it, and I will put this document, not with what I'm writing. The document won't have all the stuff I'm writing right here in color. It'll just have the black and white stuff. But you could fill it in later. Yeah, some of you are saying, Mister, I'm slow. Mister, you're going too fast. I'm trying to go as slow as possible, but yeah, if you can't copy this, I will put this document in Schoology. But just make sure you ask me questions if you're confused about my definition. All right, next is secant. Secant. A secant is a line. Okay, so now when we talk about secant, it's not a segment, it's a line. And it's a line that intersects a circle in 2 places. So here you go. So here I have a line, and this line is hitting the circle twice, right? At this point and at this point. And that's what we call the secant line. That's all. It's just a word for, hey, if you have a circle and a line is going through that circle and it hits the circle twice, that's called the secant. Okay? Has to hit it twice. Has to have 2 points of intersection, right? 2 points where it intersects the circle. Okay, everyone good with that one? Hey, mister. Yeah. What if I have a line, but it barely touches the circle? Like I have a line and it's on the outside and it hits the circle only right here. Only right here. Okay. It only hits the circle. It only intersects the circle once. That's called a tangent line. That's called a tangent line. A tangent line is a line, again, it's a line that intersects the circle at exactly 1 point. It doesn't hit it twice. It barely touches the edge, and it touches the circle at 1 point. Like if you zoomed in, it would just hit the circle at 1 point. That's called a tangent line. It's called a tangent. Mister, yes. We talked about tangent in trigonometry, and that's not what that was. Tangent was a ratio. Yes. Yes, that's something different. It's different but the same. Okay, they are connected somehow, but for this, our situation here, when I talk about a tangent line, it just means it hits a circle at one place. Ah, mister, this is why I hate math. I have a word and I finally know what it means, and then now you tell me it means something else. Yes, that's how life is sometimes. Sometimes one word means several things. You just have to know what it means based on what you're talking about. If we're talking about circles, then tangent means it's a line that hits a circle in one place. If we're talking about right triangles, then tangent means a ratio. Okay, so yes, a word can have 2 meanings. You just have to know which one we're talking about based on the situation. So now we're talking about circles. Tangent just means, oh, a line that hits a circle in one place. And then that point where the line hits the circle, that's called our point of tangency. That's the point at which the tangent line intersects the circle. So that point right there where the circle and line touch is the point of tangency. And mister, you can't spell point correctly. Can you redo that? Yes, I can. Point of tangency. Okay. So those are the three. So now we're done with the first page. I showed you these definitions before, but I didn't explain them. Now I have explained them. Now that I have explained them and I've shown you pictures, are there any questions about this? Yes, I will be putting this page on Schoology. No, it will not have the color stuff that I'm writing in right now. It'll just be the plain black and white one that you see here. And yes, I am recording this, so the video, I will put the link to the video in our Schoology folder, which is week 19. Can you believe it, guys? If you go to Schoology right now, right, and you go to our course, you will look here and you'll see week 19. Can you believe it? Week 19. There's only 21 weeks in the school year, right? And that last week is kind of half a week, so we're almost done. So if you click in here, we have classwork that we're going to start. Hopefully today, but we may not. It's called Name That Circle Part. Welcome to the game show, Name That Circle Part. So that's what we're going to do. Kind of a game show type thing. But before we can play that, we need to know what the circle parts are. So I will be putting the answers here. All right. Any questions? Any questions? You guys, you need to answer me. If I ask you if there's any questions, I need to see yes or no, or up arrow, down arrow, or raising your hand, something. I'm getting nothing from you guys. It's almost the end of the year and I'm still getting nothing from you guys. Thumbs up means you're good. Thumbs down means I have a question. You just don't know what to say? Okay, what you say is, I don't have any questions, or I have a question about that one, and then you tell me your question. That's how that works. No questions? All right, no questions. Let's go to the second page. So now we're going to talk about angles. Hey, I'm sorry. We're starting half an hour later than we used to. So you should be more awake than you used to be. Right? I understand half of you are still asleep. I get it. But it's half an hour later than before. Oh, someone says no. Oh, you said no, meaning no, you have no questions. Okay. So now we're going to talk about inside the circle. And we're going to talk about some angles inside the circle. So the first kind of angle, there's two kinds of angles we can have in the circle. We can have a central angle, okay? And it's called a central angle because it has to do with the center, right? Duh, central angle, center. Okay, so that's the way you know. So because some of you are going to say, Mister, how do I know the difference between these two angles you're going to talk about? Well, one of them has to do with the center. So a central angle is an angle with a vertex. And remember, angles, if you forgot what an angle is, an angle has two rays, and this point where the rays intersect is called the vertex, and these are called the sides, right? And they're just two rays, like think of the sun. You have two sun rays coming out. Okay, so a central angle is where the vertex is at the center, and the two sides are radii. So this is what that looks like. Here's an angle. The vertex is at the center, right? That's the vertex. And then the sides here, since they're coming from the center, that's a radius, and that's a radius. And they go to the end of the circle. Okay, so that's a central angle. So this angle right here is angle APB. Or you can say angle, you can't see that, sorry. Or you can say angle BPA, either one. But that P has to be in the middle because that middle one is always the vertex, right? When you're writing angles, that middle letter is always the point that's the vertex. Okay, so that's a central angle. Central angle is an angle that's inside the circle, but the vertex is the center. Okay, give you a second to copy that, and then I'll tell you what an inscribed angle, second kind of angle. Okay, a second kind of angle is called an inscribed angle. And an inscribed angle is an angle, but the vertex is not in the center. The vertex is on the circle. And the two sides are just chords. So if we look here, the vertex is right here. It's on the circle. So that's the vertex. And then the sides are just chords. Right? They just go to other parts of the circle. That's a chord. And that's a chord. Yeah? And this would be angle ACB, or you can say angle BCA. Remember, that point in the middle is your vertex. Okay? So those are the two types of angles we have inside circles. We have a central angle, and we have an inscribed angle. Central angle is at the center. Vertex is at the center. Inscribed angle, vertex is not at the center. It's on the circle. Okay, so now we're going to talk about arcs. Okay, arcs. So if you look at this circle, the entire circle is round, right? Right. I think of this. My wife makes me think of this. I think of pie when I see a circle like this, right? I think of pie, like the food, not the food, right? So I think of pie. And every time we get pie, or every time we make pie, I go to get a piece of pie, and a piece of the crust is missing. Always. And it's always my wife. She loves the crust. That's the first thing she eats. I mean, before I can slice it, there's a big chunk of the crust. So if I look at a circle, this whole outer part, I think of the crust. And then I think of the piece that my wife breaks off to eat, right? Like this. That reminds me of a piece that my wife, and I don't know how many of you do. Do any of you do that? Do any of you break off the crust, or have someone in your family that breaks off a piece of the crust of a pie, if it's at your house? And then you yell, "What are you doing? That's crust. That goes to the piece. Eat the crust that's on your piece." "No, but I like the crust." But still, like arguments. "No, because I'm not evil." Exactly. Those people are evil. Well, I don't want to call my wife evil. "You've never tried pie?" Andy. Oh my gosh. We just had this because my son doesn't like cake. We just had this for his birthday. And this is one of my favorite pies. Oh, I can't spell. We just had a banberry pie. Banberry pie. So then there's the crust. So you have this, but you have bananas underneath this. And then you have these strawberries with glaze on top, and then you have this. It's not just whipped cream; it's thicker than whipped cream. It's not ketchup. It's strawberries, and it looks like a slice looks like this. And oh my God, it is so good. You know where to get this pie? You know Polly's Pies. You guys know where Polly's Pies is? Go down. You know where Beverly Boulevard is? If you keep going down Beverly Boulevard, is it close? I think it is close to the bowling alley on the other side. Just look it up, Polly's Pies, Banbury pie. You don't have pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving? Of course, you got classic apple pie. But yes, you need to try a pie, Andy. I'm shocked that your family has never exposed you to pies. But you have seen one though, right, Andy? When I talk about a piece of the crust being taken out. Pecan pie. Oh my God, pecan pie. Just lemon meringue pie. You've never heard of a pie? Pie? You've never seen. Oh my God, you need to talk to your family, Andy. After school. Is he pulling my leg? Is he pulling my leg? Someone says that he's joking. Andy, come on. You keep getting me. I trust you too much, and you keep... Oh, got him. You got him. All right. Andy got me again, guys. Andy got me again. I'm so gullible. Wow. Good one. Good one. You got me. You had me going there for a long... But a positive that came out of this, you guys need to try Banbury pie. So good. All right. Anyway, this piece of crust, a piece or a chunk of the actual circle is called an arc. It's a portion of the edge of the circle defined by two endpoints. So we get two endpoints, and then the arc between them, or the round part between them, is called the arc, and we use the symbol. We use this round symbol over the two endpoints. Okay, so this is endpoint here, and the round part in between them is arc, so we would call this arc AB. And you see how I put that round part over AB? That means arc AB. Okay, so that little round part. Yeah, that's so funny. Andy got me. Andy got me. Now, some of you are saying, Mister, there's two ways we can go. You know that, Mister, right? If I have 2 points right here, since it's a circle, can't I go this way? How do I know? When you say arc AB, how do I know which way to go? How do I know that it goes this way and not this way? Well, thank you for asking, student, because we have two things called the minor arc or a major arc. Okay, and so you look at the thing. The minor arc is the small one. Okay, so if I tell you here's 2 points, A and B, the minor arc will be the small arc between them. There's the minor arc. And the definition is it's less than 180 degrees. Mister, what's 180 degrees? Well, we talked about this already. The full circle was 360 degrees, right? So that means half a circle was 180. So we talk about an arc being less than 180 because it's less than half of the circle. So this is the minor arc. Okay? And you use 2 letters to name it. That's how you know. So if you have 2 letters to name an arc, you know it's a minor arc. Okay? So right here, we call it arc AB because it's the minor arc. And we only use 2 letters. If you wanted to go the other way, like my wife takes major arcs of the pie. She would take this. She'd say, I don't want less than 180. That's a little bit of crust. She would take this crust. Right? And that's called a major arc. That's called a major arc. And a major arc uses 3 letters. That's how you know. A major arc uses 3 letters to name it. Okay, and it's more than 180 degrees. It's greater than 100. So it's more than half the circle. Okay, so you have to have a third point in there in between this. So if we're going to do a major arc, if we want A and B, the same A and B, but I want the major arc, I want my wife's crust that she takes out, we have to go all the way this way. You see that that's more than half the circle. So we got to put another point there in between. And we call this arc ABC, or ACB, sorry. Right. And this is the major arc. Yeah, so we have to know, are we going the small distance or are we going the large distance, right? Minor or major. And the way you know, if it's 2 letters, we go the short distance. If it's 3 letters, we go the long distance. That's arcs, minor arc and major arc. And the last definition is a semicircle. A semicircle is just the arc of half a circle. And it's 180 degrees. So from here, and we go halfway to here, that's a semicircle, half a circle. Okay, and if you notice, if I connect these 2 endpoints, guess what? That's my diameter. Because it's halfway, right? It's half the pi. So we have arc, which is just a piece of the crust, if this is a pi. We have the minor arc, that means it's the small one. It's less than half the circle. We have a major arc, uses 3 letters, which is more than half the circle. And then a semicircle is exactly half of the circle. And that's it. Those are the parts of a circle we are going to be talking about. I just talked about definitions. I just talked about what they are, but there are different things we can talk about. There's different theorems and postulates and all that stuff. But right now, I just want you to know what they are. And tomorrow, we are going to play Name That Circle Part. I will play it like a game show, and we'll have let's see, we might have prizes. We'll figure this out, and we may have prizes. All right, are there any questions on any of these definitions? Yes, the video will be put up today. Yes, I will upload this this document with all the definitions and the drawings. Will it have the color stuff that I just put in right now? The answer is no. The answer is no. So yeah, we're going to do the classwork tomorrow. It looks like it's already 10:11. We'll do the classwork tomorrow. We'll do it together. We'll do it game show style. You still have to turn it in. We're going to do it together, but you still have to write stuff down and you still will turn it in. Okay? So I want to make that clear. We're going to do the classwork tomorrow, but you're going to write it down and you're going to turn it in. All right, are there any questions on any of these definitions? Did I get any of you hungry, wanting some pie? And Andy got me. He really made me think that someone didn't know what pie was. Pumpkin pie, of course. Yeah, what's your favorite pie? Oh, they have the apple pie at McDonald's. That one's not round, so I don't know if they can call it a pie. It looks like a Hot Pocket, but there's apple stuff inside. Pecan pie. So what's your favorite? Everyone put your favorite pie in the chat. I have pecan, I have pumpkin. Banberry's pretty good. Lemon meringue is pretty good. Chocolate cream pie is pretty good. Strawberry. Oh, strawberry pie. I think I might make a pie today, guys. And pies are so easy to make. Yeah, pumpkin. I love that huge pumpkin pie at Costco. I'm going to do it right after class. I can't do it now because I'm recording, but right after class, I can put it in there. Yeah, I will put this document in there as soon as class is over, which is right now. Guys, that's it for today. If you don't have any questions, tomorrow we're going to play Name That Circle Part. And if you don't have any questions, have a great rest of your Wednesday. Have a great everything, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care, everybody.